Hi, this is Christine with Where's Watson? Today I'm very pleased to be starting a new series on Red River College Polytechnic's new strategic direction and new strategic plan. I'm very, very pleased to be talking to some of our alumni about how they have received the news of Red River College Polytechnic's new direction, and very pleased today to be to be welcoming Jackie Wild. Jackie is a senior manager with TELUS in their community investment program, and she's also the first female um, president of the Filipino Business Council. And I'm very, very pleased to have Jackie join us today. Hello, Jackie.
Hello, Dr. Watson. Thank you so much for having me. It's a true pleasure.
So, Jackie, let's get started. I'm so excited to hear about your experience at Red River College when you first started out in our Creative Communications diploma. Why did you choose Red River College at the time? And as an alum now, what does it mean to have this new strategic direction and the announcement of Red River College Polytech?
Both really fantastic questions. And I'll start off with the first question as to what was my experience like. And, I am just such a huge promoter of RRC Polytech for so many reasons. But from my personal experience, I actually started by going to a couple of the other leading post-secondary institutions in Manitoba. And I found that I was having a hard time just applying myself with more of the independent kind of coursework that I was embarking upon. And when I was in high school, the option of going into a college course just wasn't top of mind for a lot of our counselors at the time. But I had heard about this incredible creative communications diploma that so many people were just raving about. And I was like, I want to learn more. And so just through being exposed to your grads and hearing about the incredible job opportunities that so many of them were afforded right upon graduation, I'm like, I got to go into this program. I need to see what it's all about. And so I ended up at RRC, had the most fabulous experience, and I'm now just a proud alumna that just sings its praises as much as I can. And speaking to the announcement of RRC Polytech, as someone that graduated from the college, it just fills me with so much pride and joy to see the institution recognized for the incredible both academic research and applied research that you do, alongside that practical and technical knowledge that so many of us were able to take with us and to build just incredible professional careers in the workforce. And I just hope that there's just many more great things to come for the college in the future ahead.
Well said. Thank you, Jackie. And it's so great that we have you as a community champion who not only can sing the praises of your experience at RRC, but also understands the importance of the future for the college in terms of how we're positioning ourselves as the Polytech that really marries all of the things you talked about, right? The hands-on learning, the workforce development, the applied research that you talked about. So thank you for your excitement around that. One of the strategic directions that we're really committed to in our new strategic plan is around equity, diversity, and inclusion. And I know that through your incredible work all the way through your career, you've really brought a focus to the importance of equity and diversity and inclusion in investment through corporate social responsibility and through your work with a number of organizations. And I'm wondering if you can talk about why it's important for you as an alum to see Red River College really make a commitment to ensuring that equity, diversity, and inclusion is built into everything that we do.
Yeah, it's a really great question and something I've been thinking a lot about, because I do believe that my experience at Red River College was not just formative, but quite transformative in, the subsequent career I've had as a graduate. And, I do truly believe that educational institutions like RRC Polytech have a deep influence in what we know and do not know about the world, as the entire education system does. And the role that the system plays is to develop a stronger understanding on the histories that we as racialized groups have, Indigenous communities have, and beyond that, how we can empathize with those who have that lived experience. And ultimately, it gives us an opportunity to think more deeply about how we can serve as allies for the rights and representation of racialized people. And the level of respect that we learn about in these communities transcends into everything that we do, including the workplaces that we end up in. And I think that it's just so wonderful to hear that RRC Polytech is committing to that through your new strategic plan. And I'm just so excited to see all of the work that you're going to continue doing, diversifying your student body, the staff, the partners that you work with, and so much more. It's all so exciting.
Well, and you live it and embody it in your career. I'm very curious to know, even with your current role or previous roles, or even with your role with the Business Council, what you're seeing in terms of workplaces really, perhaps more now than ever before, really talking about diversity inclusion as an advantage, as a business advantage. So not just something nice to do, but something that's absolutely crucial to being competitive in the business environment. Because certainly when we talk to employers, one of the things they're saying is we're relying on Red River College Polytech to give us those well-rounded individuals, those that come in with empathy, with leadership, with an understanding of intercultural competency in a way that we haven't necessarily heard in previous generations, in part because I think of the heightened awareness of the importance and strategic advantage of having a diverse workforce. So I'm wondering if you can talk a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to speak to that. And I think you hit the nail on the head when it came to the discussion and kind of the societal shift towards this being a nice to have versus this being really the way forward for businesses to succeed. A business will no longer succeed without this deeply integrated into the work that they do. And I mean, there's just such a plethora of benefits, of course, when it comes to the bottom line and the business case for having a diverse workforce, rather. And we hear it so much through the membership that we have with the Manitoba Filipino Business Council, because our membership is made up of not only Filipino-led organizations, but many organizations that are allies to our community who have made a commitment to hiring newcomers, and many of the newcomers in our province, of course, identify as Filipino. And I mean, you spoke to it already, Christine. When you build a diverse workforce, you're building diversity of minds, of thoughts and ideas, which ultimately does lead to more well-rounded and comprehensive solutions, because you are including all of those voices into the conversation. And I mean, studies have demonstrated that a diverse workforce leads to stronger employee engagement, better business decisions, quicker business decisions, better results, and ultimately more money down the line. It's good for business. So ultimately, I think that having a diverse workforce is not just good for the community. It's important to lead with that and to be genuine as an organization, to know that that is deeply ingrained in your values and the work that you do. But it is also good for business and your bottom line.
That's wonderful. So let's talk a little bit about the fact that you are the first female president of the Filipino Business Council. What's that like? Why did you take on this role? I mean, you've also been named as a top 40 under 40. You're in the prime of your career. Tell us a little bit about that leadership role and why you chose to take that on at this point.
Yeah. Also a really excellent question, and it's something, part of my identity that I've really tried to better understand actually over the years. I feel like I've just ended up, in some ways, I just by happenstance ended up taking on this role. But in actuality, I think unconsciously it happened for a reason. I think that the main reason why I wanted to take on this role from the get-go, when I started volunteering with the organization almost 10 years ago, the Manitoba Filipino Business Council, was that, I mean, racialized people, and in particular women of color, are so underrepresented in both board and leadership roles within organizations. And as we've all learned in this era of anti-racism, representation does truly matter. And it matters deeply in all that we do as a society. And for so long and for far too long, these voices and our voices have been ignored and suppressed. And through representation, those around you have opportunities to see themselves reflected in the work that you do. And, as a member of the Filipino community and also as a mother to a young girl who I hope will take, charge in a leadership role when it comes to this next generation of young community champions, I felt that there is a responsibility to ensure that people that look like them have roles of authority and agency and opportunities to affect meaningful and lasting change that will break down some of those systemic barriers that we've all faced, and so we can give those opportunities for future generations to come. So that's why I took on the role. It's fun. That's important too, but I think that there's just so much more change that we can work on collaboratively as a community together.
That's wonderful. And I do hope, certainly one of the other strategic directions that we've been talking about is really reaching out and broadening our circle of partnerships. And I know that the Filipino Business Council and the opportunity to really think about how many of our alumni are actually working in either Filipino-led businesses or allies to the Filipino business community, that we can be drawing on to say, how do we do better? How do we make those partnerships and build those relationships in a way that really achieves all of the goals that we've talked about today?
Absolutely. I agree. And I'm just so excited that RRC Polytech has recognized that. And I think that our community is going to be so much better for it. So thank you to you and the rest of the incredible leaders at the school for embarking on this incredible journey. We're excited to be a part of it.
Thank you so much. Jackie, thank you for your time. Thank you for your for being such a champion for Red River as an alum, but also a champion for the strategic directions that we all need to take as a community. So thank you very much for your time, your expertise, your talent, your gifts, and for being with me today on Where's Watson?
Oh, thank you so much for the opportunity. So grateful, and just looking forward to many great things to come ahead with RRC Polytech.
Excellent. Have a great day.
You too.